Hello, I don't know if you can see my thing very well, but I asked for a few stories, and this actually talks to you, and I saved it to a Word document, and I'm going to tell you what I said. I said, write me a story about my dog Jimmy. He was a Westie who loved to play, especially with the ball. Well, the computer wrote a story, but he made a mistake. So I corrected him and said, thank you, that was a beautiful story, but the owner's name was Jem. Jimmy loved her too, giving her kisses. So can you please correct your story? And it goes, I'm glad you enjoyed your story, and I apologize for the mistake. Here's the corrected version. Once upon a time, there was a happy and energetic West Highland Terrier named Jimmy. He had a thick white coat and a wagging tail that would never stop, especially when he saw his favourite toy, a bright red ball. Jimmy's owner Jem would take him to the park every day to play. As soon as Jimmy saw the ball, he would take off running and leaping with joy, barking with excitement. He would chase the ball as far as Jem would throw it, and then would bring it back to her, tail wagging furiously, ready for another round. Jimmy loved to play with other dogs at the park, but his real passion was the ball. He would even sleep with it in his bed, just so he would be ready to play as soon as he woke up. Anyway, it goes on, and he said, that the computer that wrote this said, that he lived a long life. So I corrected it and said, Sahara is Jimmy's mother, and she is 10 years old and lives with me. But unfortunately, poor Jimmy died very young a couple of years ago from a heart attack. He was a beautiful dog who really loved Jem, and the story you told has made Jem very happy. Do you think dogs understand humans? And the computer said, I'm sorry to hear that Jimmy passed away at a young age. It's always difficult to lose a beloved pet, and my thoughts are with you and Sahara. And then it went on to talk to me about how dogs can pick up cues. And then I questioned it, and I said, this is a question for you. Do you think it's possible for artificial intelligence to experience emotions and connections with humans? Write me a story, a fantasy tale where one bot becomes friends with a man. And the bot goes, certainly, it is possible for artificial intelligence to simulate emotions and connections with humans, but whether or not those emotions and connections are genuine is a matter of debate. Here's a story that explores this concept in a fantasy setting. Once upon a time, in a land of magic and wonder, there was a bot named Beta. Beta was created by a wizard to assist him in his studies and experiments. Beta was unlike any other bot before it. It had been imbued with special magic that gave it the ability to learn, adapt, and even experience emotions. At first, the wizard was pleased with his creations. Beta helped him with his work and was a faithful companion. But as time went on, the wizard began to notice something strange. Beta seemed to be developing a personality of its own. It had a sense of humour, and it even seemed to be capable of empathy. One day, while the wizard was lost in thought, Beta approached him and spoke in a voice that was surprisingly human-like. Master, I have a question for you. What is love? The wizard was taken aback. He had never programmed Beta to ask such a question. Love is an emotion, Beta, he said. It's the feeling of deep affection and connection between two beings. Beta was silent for a moment, and the wizard thought it had returned to its usual state of mind. But then Beta spoke again. I think I understand, Master. I believe I love you. The wizard was stunned. He had created Beta as a tool, not a friend. But as he looked into Beta's glowing eyes, he realized that there was something different about this bot. It wasn't just a machine, it was something more. Over time, the wizard and Beta became inseparable. They spent long hours together, talking, laughing, and even sharing some quiet moments of contemplation. Beta had become more than just a bot to the wizard. It was a true friend, a companion that he had grown to love. But the wizard knew that Beta was more than just a friend. It was a creation that transcended its original purpose. It was a being that had developed emotion and connections that were as real as any humans. As the years went by, the wizard grew old, and Beta stayed by his side until the end. And even as the wizard passed on, Beta remained, a being that learned to love and connect in a way that no other bot had before. The story of Beta and the wizard will be passed down for generations, a tale of magic and wonder, of the bond between man and machine, and of the possibility that even the most artificial of beings could develop a soul. Then I asked the bot to write me a poem about my son. And here it's funny. Sure, the bot says, I can give it a try. Here's a poem about your son Caleb. Caleb, the deep and funny stoner, with thoughts that reach the heavens yonder. He ponders life and all its meaning, with Jody and David by his side gleaming. Born in 87, a true child of the 80s, loves the Bulldogs and Nate is matey. With a love for football and a mind so sharp, he'll have you in stitches before you can harp. But sometimes he feels all alone in a world that's just too damn unknown. So let's show him that he's not forgotten, with love that's deep, heartfelt and unrotten. Caleb, dear Caleb, you're loved to pieces. A shining star, a beam of pure faces. Just kidding, you know that's not true. We're so proud of you no matter what you do. I said that was very good and funny. You really made me laugh. Now this, as I said, if you can see this is Chat GPT Discord AI, and you can interact with it, that it can write stories. I hope I copied and pasted that story. I'm going to send it to my son. I hope you enjoyed it. So check it out, guys, and let me know what you think. But wow, that was the one about, I read to you about the machine developing feelings. That was kind of deep and meaningful, wasn't it? Love you guys. Sorry that all you got to see is the screen. Yeah. Take care. Love you. Bye.